Hi folks, and welcome again to my channel. This is another little movie clip of another member of the collection. This is being filmed on Easter Monday, 13th of April 2020, during the coronavirus lockdown, by way of diversion from the tedium of not being able to get out and enjoy the wider countryside at this time. So, the subject of today's little movie is this little Austin 7 Special, which was originally the Mk2 Austin Ruby. That's 1938, with the Girling rod operated rear brakes. It's an alloy body. This was made around about 1980s by a very gifted special builder. It's been a member of the Dorset Austin 7 Club. It's nearly all aluminium with the exception of these rear wings, which probably are from a trailer, I think. It's nominally a four-seater, but in reality we've moved the seats back because me and my regular driving motoring companion are reasonably big and we need the leg room. The doors are not real, they're made to look like that stylistically, but it's in my opinion it's a very good build, and it's done a substantial mileage. Previous owners have taken it in France and used it extensively there, as far as I can understand. So it's by no means stock, however. That radiator I think is from the early 30s, because I remember the first Austin that I ever encountered, in fact, was brought home from the Cresswell Maternity Hospital in Dumfries, was EV786, which was a 1931 Austin, which actually I understand still survives as an Ulster replica now. But this is USU 163. I think that will probably be the registration number of the original Ruby. As you can see, it's been converted to hydraulic brakes. They use, I think they're mini cylinders. They seem to work reasonably well. I wouldn't say, even with hydraulic brakes, however, that an Austin 7 is a particularly good car for bringing to a quick halt. Typical late Ruby wheels. These are of course 17-inch. They're riding on slightly bigger tyres than are recommended. These are even HM Tourists, 450 by 17, and I think probably should really be about 4 or 4.25, but I've not noticed any issues with it, with that size of tyre. Now I'll just show you the inside. The obvious thing is that this is no Austin 7 engine. This is the Reliant 850cc engine that was in the Robins, and I think it's about 40-41 bhp, but the Reliant engines actually have a lineage that can be traced back to Austin 7 engines, and then they went their own way. And this is an all alloy engine, overhead valve, SU carburetor. I don't think there's anything unusual about that. It simply has an electric fan here in this arrangement, which doesn't really need to come on very much, and an electric pump, a Hardy pump. You can also see just about the brake master cylinder down there. Mechanically operated clutch. Coming round here, I'll try and let you see. It's actually got the Reliant 4-speed gearbox, which is a lovely little gearbox. Got nicely chosen ratios, and it's an absolute joy to use. It's synchronized, I think, on all ratios except reverse. It's got this remote shift, which is, well, you can jump out of gear, or jump out rather between the gears and miss the selector, and then have to put the lever back in, because you've got to sort of lift it slightly to get into reverse, which is a little bit of a knack. But it probably would be better with a remote rather than that very long lever. But I've managed fine, and obviously all the previous owners did as well, because it's quite long periods of ownership. I've had this a long while, I think at least a decade now, and it's not going to leave the collection, because it's the first Austin 7, and I've had several back to 1929 30 Chummy that I've really felt comfortable in. I've got enough leg room in there. It's great the way that the pedals go either side of the steering column. They've set them very far forward, and this little narrow seat's managed to go back about as far as it can, and it's enough for me with 33-inch inner leg. So there's a selection of instruments there. I think some of them are Ruby, but yes, it's a pretty pleasing job. I'll try and show you underneath. I don't know how much you can see here. So you see the hydraulic arrangement on the Austin axle there, and it's got the Reliant petrol tank, which has got a nice capacity, and this car does about 50-55 miles to the gallon, and it's very nippy. I've never explored the top speed of it because it gets a bit exciting above 50. You know, these cross-ply tyres, they tend to follow ridges in the road and such like, and a grip on an Austin 7 is fairly marginal. So no, it'd be a braver man than me that would extend that engine to its full red line, which I suppose is about 4.5 to 5,000 RPM. I just like the acceleration, and on our club runs we're not speed merchants by any means, so this little Austin's more than able to keep up with everybody else. It's got quite a nice exhaust note too, so there we have it. It's a bit of a bitsa to the purists, but it's a characterful little car and a load of fun. So thank you for watching, folks. Take care.